Not sure I'm live yet or not. Am I live yet? Uh, okay. Okay, hello.
Okay. Okay. Hello. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the terminal. So why do we need to use Linux if we already have Windows and other operating system like Mac? Well, the answer to that is Linux is in fact the most used and most loved operating system throughout the industry. Most of the applications in this industry are based on the Linux software, Linux, and the softwares are exclusively one made for the Linux operating system. Most of the mobile devices, almo- that is Android and few other operating system as well, which are already using the Linux kernel. So many applications, apart from being exclusively made for the Linux, what Linux provides to the user is the open source, the community support, and the customization. So moving on to the CLI, the command line interface that the Linux provide allows us to navigate through the directory structure and files. It it can be used. It is used for managing networks, for scripting and automation, for application management, for managing storage services, editing and troubleshooting files, and getting generating output reports. So why do we still need a CLI, the command line interface, a shell, even though we have a GUI in Linux distributions such as Ubuntu. So currently I'm using a Ubuntu distribution of the Linux. I can do the same stuff that I can do via the command line, yet the terminal. Yet, why do we actually need a terminal? So GUI is limited to a functionality. So that's why we need the command line. The shell is a program. It allows interaction between the user and the operating system by typing in commands in interface and getting output on the terminal. So whenever you log in or open a terminal, a shell, you are logged in under a home directory with your user as your home directory. Okay, so under home directory you will have a folder that has the same name as that of the user that you are logged in. However, if you switch to root, and now if you check the path, it will be the root user. So every file system and the every file system, every user directory, the mount paths, everything will be under slash. So if I go to cd slash, if I change the directory, so we use the cd command to change the directories. So let's say if we are currently under home slash Nishad, so we use the pwd for the to check the present working directory that we are currently in. So right now I am in the home directory, that is Nishad. So now if I want to change the directory, I will use the cd command. So I'll use cd slash etc. So using the cd, I can change the directory. So now if I want to check which all directories are present in the current folder, I will use ls command. So this command is used to list the files and directories that are present in the current path. Here you can see these are few files and directories. However, to differentiate between these different files, we will need another argument, that is hyphen L, for a detailed view. Here you can check the first component of these permissions. If it is a D, it's a directory. If it's hyphen, it's a regular file. If it will be a link. So we'll see that in the upcoming so there are different type of command types. So there are actually two type, not different types. It's actually two type of command types, that are internal as well as the second one is the external command type. So to check which type of command it is, let's say if we want to check what type of a command pwd is, we'll use the command type followed by the actual command. So let's say type pwd. So here it shows the pwd is a shell built in. So it is a built-in command, that is it means that it is an internal command. So let's take an example of another command. Let's say I use type cp. So we use cp to copy files. Okay, so if I do type cp, it will give me a cp is a user slash bin slash, it is present under user slash bin slash cp. So whenever it gives a path, it actually means that it is a binary program, which is even though it is pre-installed, it comes with the ubuntu, yet it is a binary program where you can find it under this path. So if I browse to cd slash user slash bin folder, and if I do list, I will have a list of commands, and so these are all actually commands. Okay, so I'll have list of all these commands and links to different files. Okay, so moving on to the basic commands in Linux, we use echo command to print the string or the value of a variable onto the terminal shell or the output. Okay, so let's take an example. If I say echo hello, hello world, so a string starts with a double inverted comma and it ends with a double inverted comma. So I'll use the echo command, a space, starts with the inverted comma, I'll give the string, I'll end with the inverted comma. command, if I do enter, it will print the uh, input that I have provided onto the screen. So onto the terminal. So if I want to print a value of a variable, so first of all, what is a variable? A variable actually works as a storage unit for some value. Okay, so if I want to print a value of a variable, that is echo dollar, let's say shell. You can see a dollar shell has a value that is slash bin slash bash. So what does this shell slash bin slash bash represent? So the current working shell, there are different types of shell, like bash shell, K shell, corn shell, C shell. So currently we are using born again shell, that is bash shell. So the bash shell is currently under slash bin slash bash, and it is and the value of that path is saved under dollar shell command. So the next command is uptime. So we use uptime command to check how long the machine or the operating system is uh, currently working. I mean, how long the machine is currently up and running. So let's go to the home directory. Okay, I have a directory here called sports, which has few subdirectories called basketball, cricket, and football. So let's create one folder here. Okay, so to create a folder, we'll use the command mkdir, and we'll call the folder. Okay, what's the other sports? Yeah, rugby. Let's do rugby. You can see that we are able to create the command, create a folder using the command mkdir. Okay, if you want to create more than one directories, if you want to create more than one directories, we'll use the same command mkdir following by the folder name that we want to create. Let's say swimming or kabaddi. Yeah, and we can create these directories as well. Um, if you want to delete a directory, we'll use rmdir command, which stands for remove directory, whereas mk directory stands for make directory. So we'll use the rmdir command to delete the folders. So we can delete more than one folder at the same time. For now, I'll just delete the rugby and swimming. And if I go to the, if I list here, you can see that if I'm browse into the kabaddi folder and I want to create two files, uh, let's say a team A and team B. So I'll just use the touch command to create files. That is team A dot txt and team B dot txt. So to create a folder, we use the command called mkdir. To create files, we use the command touch. So using the touch command, we will create two files, that is team A and team B. As you can see now, if I try to delete this folder, let's say if I want to delete rmdir kabaddi, it will throw me error because the directory is not empty. So a directory has some files which is not allowing me to delete the directory as a whole. So to force the deletion, we'll use the command rm hyphen r, which means recur. This will not only delete the folder, but the subfolders, subdirectories, and files that the directories have. So we'll use rm-r. Let which is a binary file, or which is in progress, or like which is in process of completing some given task. If I want to force that to delete that file forcefully, I'll use the command, the argument f. Okay, so rm, that is remove space hyphen rf delete kabaddi. So now the folder is deleted. If I do list, this will be gone. So right now I have three folders, that is basketball, cricket, and football. So if I go into the football, I have some subdirectories there. For La Liga, if I go into the La Liga, if I do list, I have few directories which are named after the teams of the La Liga. If you are a fan of cricket, sorry, football, I think you'll love this. Mm, yeah, so let's go into the FC Barcelona. I have a file here that I created. This has details of the players and this the stats under this file. If I want to display this file onto the output screen, so we know how to display a output on the terminal using the echo command. But how can we file? We will use cat, and this will display the content of the file onto the terminal. However, so if I want to check the count the lines of the uh, uh, to check the count of the lines that the file have, I'll just do cat players pipe w7l. So wc is used to count the word count. Okay, so what it will count the lines. If I do enter, so these are around 202 lines. So when you work in an industry, there will be files that will be huge, like up, it might comprise up to few gigs. So to print a particular section of a file, or print the file details, content of the file comprehensively onto the terminal, I will use less command. If I do less and provide the file name, and if I do enter, you can see it will give me some details, and I'll have this blinking icon at the bottom. So I can navigate through the file using the up and down arrow key. I'll type f to print the content of the file on the next forward screen. So that is for, so for moving forward, I'll use the f command. To move backward, I'll use the b command, b keyword. So if I type f, this will move forward. If I type b, this will move backward. And to get out of the less command, I'll just this window, I'll just type q. So if you want to check a command, but you are not sure what the command actually do, so let's say I want to rename this file to say players.txt. How can I do that? I know that I can do that. I can do this using the mv command. But what does actually this move command do? So to get help, we'll use mv hyphen hyphen help. So here you can see it will display all the details that the move command requires to execute that operation. So here we can use the mv command to rename a file from its source to a destination. Okay, it will also give me the arguments. So if I do hyphen f, it will uh, force the file to be renamed by before like prompting to overwrite. Let's say if I create a file, let's say I create a file touch mm, players dot txt, and now if I want to rename the players file as players dot txt, I'll just move players players.txt. Since the file was empty, it was able to overwrite it. But if you want to force a file to be renamed, we will use move hyphen f. Now, if you want a specific line stating what a file actually do, we'll use what is command followed by the command actual command that we want the details about. This will print the data. So here you can see the mv command is used to move as well as rename the files. So right now we did rename the file, but how can we move this? So if you want to move the file, I'll just use mv players a step back and enter. So what I did here is I tried to move a file that is called as players.txt in the previous directory. So uh, uh, dot slash represent the previous directory. Dot slash. If I go a step back, if I do list, this will be place.txt. You can find this file here. So if I want to remove this file, I'll just do rm place.txt, enter. So this will delete the file. So up till now, we have learned about echo, pwd, list, cd, rm, touch, less, cat, uptime, mkdir, rmdir, and move. So yeah, there's another one basic command that I missed. It's actually copy command. So let's say if I want to copy uh, the file. Oh, okay. So we actually moved the file from the FC Barcelona into the previous folder and then deleted it. So it's gone for now. So let's say if I want to move the file from the folder Real Madrid into the FC Barcelona, what I'll do is I'll just use copy command followed by the file that we want to copy to the relative path. So what is a absolute path and what is a relative path? We'll discuss that in the next session. So this folder, and in the previous folder we have a folder called FC Barcelona. If I go back to the Barcelona folder, if I do list here, we will have the file that we copied from the Real Madrid into the FC Barcelona folder. And to cross check the date, you can 1 p.m. It was which was a few seconds ago. It's a minute ago. So we use the cp command to copy and the date. I'm not sure how I can zoom into this. I'm not used to the Ubuntu. I always worked on the Linux terminal. Let's see, editor, tablet, maybe no font and size, the regular. Okay, select. Yep. I hope this is visible now. Maybe I should increase it a bit more. So, okay. So Echo will help you display content onto the terminal window, usually used with variables or strings of characters. Maybe. The next command is pwd, that is for present working directory, used to display the user to display the path where user is currently working in. So we use the ls command to list the files and directories in the current or relative folder. So cd we use it to change directories, to remove files and create files. So we use touch to create files. We use less for comprehensive view of the content of the file content. Display. So we use the cat to display the content of the files. So we use uptime to check how long the system is was up. It's currently up. Is up and running. So we use mkdir to make create folders. We use rmdir to delete folders. However, it does not delete folders which have files stored in it. So we use the mv command to rename and move the file or directory. We use the cp command to copy the files and directories, and we use date to display date. So stick around for the next session where we will deep dive into the different aspects of the Linux, where we'll see about the process management, uh, the package management, the storage management, the shell scripting. We'll see into the boot sequence of the Linux. Again, the data manipulation, the string manipulation, using different text editors, and the commands like awk, grep, uh, replacing content of a file using SCD, which is itself a programming language in itself. Then we'll see about the uh, cryptography that is actually a file management where we will compress and decompress files. So yeah, that will be it for today. I'll see you guys